Hi everyone, this is Nane and welcome to another horror movie review, this time looking at the 2013 zombie film World War Z directed by Mark Forster. World War Z is an action horror film that follows former UN investigator Gary Lane as he and his family witness a zombie virus outbreak. After barely making it out, Gary is tasked with a mission to help look for a potential cure for the disease. So, with the plot out of the way, let's take a look at World War Z. First things first, I have to come out clean and confess I haven't seen that many zombie films, so I have very little frame of reference for this one. I still really wanted to watch this because the main theme song is amazing. But whoa, at the moment of recording, COVID-19 is still around and I haven't gone out in 6 months. So zombie movies in this situation have an extra layer of reading for me. I had a lot of fun watching it. So the best way to describe this movie's style is with the editing. The camera work is kinda chaotic and filled with quick cuts, so the general pace of the movie is real fast. The pacing actually leans harder towards action rather than horror. There are a few bits where the quick cuts can be a bit too chaotic, but it doesn't really take you out of the movie. The character of Brad Pitt could be a bit more engaging, but then again, the situation and action sequences make up for it. And of course, we have the real stars of the film, the zombies. These are easily on my top 3 most intimidating type of zombies, probably a bit scarier than the ones in Train to Busan. These are just more feral. Their design is nothing new, but they have a couple of surprising bits and the effects look cool. And as I said before, the movie leans harder into action, so there were fewer scares than I expected. It did make up for it with a ton of suspense and tension, so this movie was more badass than it was scary. Definitely one most general audiences can get behind, even with almost no experience in horror. I would recommend this more to fans of action horror, zombies, and people who are trying to get started into sci-fi but would like to try with smaller concepts. I give World War Z an 8.5 out of 10. If there was something that caught my attention was that this movie plays it really straightforward for a zombie film. In many of the others I watched, there is a lot of more tension between survivors, and there's usually more focus on how this violence plays a part in this type of situations. But aside from the scene in the supermarket, the movie keeps itself more goal-focused. Because of this, you get to see some variety in the settings. I feel that if the setting was more contained, like in other zombie movies, the pace would have suffered, especially with such a fast opening scene. Not that this can't be done, it's just a bit trickier. I would have liked more of the usual paranoia, but watching the escape scenes was more than enough. It was also interesting to see a complete family in a zombie film. The ones I've seen so far usually have a dead family member, just a few members present, or no mention of them at all. I kept thinking they were gonna get rid of the wife cause children are a sensitive topic. Honestly, Gary's family didn't do much for me. Their interactions were cute, but that was about it. However, the few characters he meets in each country were pretty fun to watch. The Harvard guy at the beginning was quirky and I was getting into his character, then the movie just kills him. That said, that was the best death scene for me. It came kinda out of nowhere and it genuinely raised the stakes of the mission. I wish he had a bit more of an interaction with Gary, but I'm still calling it the best death scene. I liked how they used every possible setting to build up the final reveal. The Harvard guy's speech, the soldier with the bad leg, the tent man, this chick, it was a nice setup. And even though the last bit was more about the payoff, the doctors were pretty fun too. I also liked the fact that the setting wasn't as centric as in other movies. We got to see more countries than America. I kinda wanted to see more Asian actors in the South Korea bit though. This virus may have started in South Korea, so I'm making a headcanon that it takes place in the same reality as Train to Busan. My favorite settings were easily Jerusalem and the balls to the vaccines. Jerusalem because it seems safe, but you can tell the wall is just gonna trap the survivors if a single zombie gets in. And the bolts because it was almost as claustrophobic as the apartment building with the benefit of being able to see much more. It also felt a bit like a labyrinth, so that was great. Overall, this is a fun experience, but it's better to go in expecting more of an action film than a horror film. The movie may have made Gary a bit too much of a badass. It's a bit funny just how much stuff he survives. And yes, he gets injured, but it's almost never fatal. The one element I think works perfectly for both genres is the fact that the zombies run. Not only that, they can even create a giant zombie ladder to climb walls. That's just cool. I would recommend this to most general audiences, to be honest. Again, especially fans of zombies or action, but pretty much anyone can watch it fine. I hear there is an unrated version available, so I might check it out later to see how far they went with the gore. If you're in the mood for something fast-paced and easy to follow, this is the perfect pick. Well, that's it for today's video. Thanks to Bill and Kelly from the Horror Movie Review Maniacs for creating this challenge. Let me know what did you think of the movie in the comments down below, and see you next week.